Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George. We're all George. So this morning is looking a lot better than last night. But I have a warning for you guys. We have some important data that was released, and it shows BlackRock is absolutely killing it and taking over. This is important. This is what I've been talking about, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what they're doing and how we can prevent it or benefit from it at the very least. All right, let's do this. Welcome, guys. Good morning. Things are looking a whole lot better, even though last night I said it was a nothing burger. It is normal for Bitcoin to have big volatility drops, right? And look at where we are right now, above $67,000. Okay, so in case you're wondering, $67,000, not that far off from our previous high, all-time high at $69,000. So things are coming back right away, really quickly, as expected. Okay, there's nothing stopping this FOMO train. The ETFs are buying by hundreds of millions of dollars, okay? Hundreds of millions of dollars. That is not going to stop, and I'm going to show you what BlackRock did, and it's just absolutely bonkers. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing, and it shows you the mentality, the difference between retail investors and institutions. Okay, so today I think, today I think the U.S. market could be good. Yesterday was a pretty bad day. Today Powell is going to speak, though, in front of Capitol Hill, and he's expected to say that the Fed is not ready to start cutting rates. It's in March. This is expected. But what's going to happen in May? What's going to happen in June? Most likely there will be cuts coming, okay? It's just March. To expect it in March is a little bit too soon. But in the next few months, it's certainly, let me say that again, certainly going to happen, okay? So that is another catalyst for later this year. That's going to be absolutely fantastic, okay? Really fantastic. Man, and Bitcoin is off to a great start. If Wall Street, man, if they continue to buy, I mean, like, it's going to be absolutely crazy. So, what crash? We're like nearly back to 68,000 already, right? So, what crash? That is correct. The whales, you know what? Not just you guys, but the whales have been buying. Retail, whales, buying. Well, at least the smart retail, I should say. But the whales are definitely buying. And you can see the holders have increased. Okay, these are the whales. Increased their holdings by 4,177 Bitcoin in the last 7 days. That's 280 million. So, you know, I sometimes when I talk about volatility, like who's causing it, you know, sometimes you just don't know, but you look at who benefits the most, right? That's rule number one when it comes to detective work. Who benefits from the crime? So, who benefits from a large crash like yesterday, a sudden crash? Well, people that want to accumulate, right? People that want to accumulate by hundreds of millions of dollars. So that's why I always say like whales and market makers, you know, they include exchanges and firms. And also, of course, we got Mr. Larry Fink, who benefits tremendously from a crash. Okay. So if you guys thought that maybe Wall Street caused the crash yesterday, well, maybe they done so through other means. But the numbers came out from yesterday's ETFs, inflow and outflows, and the numbers are mind-boggling, Okay, on a down day like yesterday, where Bitcoin dropped 15%, guess what? The ETFs had their largest inflow since day one, 648 million. And here's more staggering. Do you know how much this guy bought? BlackRock bought 12,447 Bitcoin yesterday. Almost 13,000. What does that equate to? That equates to $788 million going into BlackRock's iShares. So here's the difference, and I always explain this, the difference between institutions and retail investors. When people are panicking about retail, or when retail are panicking about Bitcoin's price or dips, institutions, they don't give a F. In fact, they take opportunity to buy more and accelerate their buying. Look at, they bought so much yesterday. It was double what they purchased on Monday. And now look at their overall number, 183,000 Bitcoins. That's only 10,000 behind MicroStrategy. This is why Michael Saylor is getting pretty worried. That's why he's trying to raise another $600 million to buy more Bitcoin. $600 million is nothing when BlackRock has spent $800 million to buy Bitcoin. This is my warning to you guys. I've said this before and I'll say it again. This will be the last time. This will be the last cycle, last time for regular average Joes to accumulate a significant amount of Bitcoin. After this cycle, after Bitcoin breaks $100,000, it will be virtually impossible for normal people, the working class people, to accumulate any significant amount of Bitcoin. It's going to become too expensive. That's the reality of it. That is the reality of it. You could argue that it's already too expensive at where we are, $67,000, $68,000, but it's not going to stop. And if people are still thinking that, well, you know, the ETFs will slow down, they already accumulate so much. This is nothing. This is nothing. BlackRock holds $10 trillion worth of assets. Fidelity holds like $7 trillion worth of assets. Trillions with a T. And there are major institutions out there that are all buying. The amount of money out there in the world is so vast we can't even picture it. Bitcoin barely broke above 1 trillion itself. But there is so much money that's FOMOing in right now because for good reason. Number one, it's the fastest growing asset. Number two, people are sick of inflation. Even institutions and big publicly traded companies, they're sick of inflation. They want to hedge against inflation, and gold no longer does that. Bitcoin is the best hedge against inflation, no doubt about it. It's also the only asset that has a max supply. There's nothing else on the planet that does. So that's why everyone is FOMO in. And of course, seeing the price go up literally every day also helps with that. But this is not going to stop, guys. We may have more volatility days. We may have more up and downs as we move forward. But that's just know that it happens because a lot of big players want your Bitcoin. They want you to sell. They want you to sell so they can buy it and take your life-changing wealth away from you. That's really the bottom line. We are moving so fast in this cycle. I've mentioned this many, many times. Just a few other things. Look at where we are in the current cycle versus one of the previous cycles before. This is how it's supposed to be. We have accumulation stage. Yep, we did. We have this halving event that's coming up, very significant. And then you could see, you know, we generally start moving upwards, but we don't break our previous high until the green mark, which is the parabolic bull run. You could see how this cycle looks very different. We're not going sideways, slow rises. We're just doing this now, right? We have reached that parabolic cycle or phase, and we still have several. In fact, we're so ahead, like at least 6 months ahead, 6 to like 10 months ahead. Because looking at when that parabolic cycle started, that was 2017. So that was the year after the halving event. This time around, we are just so ahead of the game because of all the accumulation and the FOMO, the ETFs and everything else. Okay, so that's what's happening right now. So, and I think we know that. We see it. Right? You guys are excited. I'm excited. Everyone's making a boatload of money right now. But it's going to get better. And a lot of you guys are holding alts. Okay? And you're wondering when alts are going to skyrocket like Bitcoin, right? Well, here's your answer. According to this, some kind of ribbon, you could see when altcoin season kind of started. Although I would argue altcoin season really starts at the latter half of the final year of the cycle, which means it should be like the second half of 2025. But this cycle is unlike any previous cycle. We are moving way, way quicker. We're seeing a lot of alts showing a ton of strength right now. A ton of strength. Even Nate Gaki says, ETH getting ready. Even ETH getting ready to shatter 4K and head to its previous 4,800. It's not that far off, right? And there are so many others that are getting ready to move up with Bitcoin, right? So this could be confirmation that it already started, right? So speaking of some of these alts, what's going on with them? Grayscale, interesting enough, is creating a new fund that gives users staking rewards. So if you don't want to stake yourself, you want a Grayscale to stake for you, well, then you could buy their fund and it does that. That's kind of interesting. It's actually creative. It's very creative and interesting. So that's pretty cool. So it's like CeFi combined with DeFi, right? Yeah, so that's coming. Also, in terms of ETH, 115 billion of Ether is now staked on the Beacon chain. So the number of ETH is going up in terms of staking. It's still very little compared to some of the other chains. Some of the other chains have like 60, 70% staked. ETH is about, according to this, about 26%. So it's still relatively small, but it is increasing. It is increasing. And let's not forget, a lot of ETH is not staked traditionally on the Beacon chain. They're staked within DeFi products like Aave or Compound, or liquid staking like Lido and Rocket Pool, right? And a lot of it is staked in liquidity providers. So that may be the reason why. If you add it all together where all the ETH is, you know, it could be in the 50, 60% too. But this is just time on a native chain, right? So it's still good. It's still good. Like I said, Ethereum broke above 3,800. Can it continue more? Yes, it certainly can. And it's nearing its all-time high too. Besides ETH, Fetch AI has been absolutely on fire. Promising AI play. So now, now they have 100 million investment. Interesting. So they're getting a whole bunch of NVIDIA GPUs. Again, NVIDIA is just absolutely killing it. Everyone's just buying NVIDIA GPUs. I mean, like, if you are a stock investor, like, that should be like one of the only 2 stocks you hold. NVIDIA, everyone is buying NVIDIA GPUs for AI initiatives, right? And Fetch AI is also doing that. Render is doing that. Flux is doing that. Akash is doing that. All these centralized AI plays or DeepIn plays, they're all buying NVIDIA GPUs. It's just absolutely going crazy. And then we have a standout with despite yesterday's dip, they still shot up. Now they're above $2 billion, up 41%. And they just keep on climbing. A lot of memes are not stopping. That shows you altcoin season is here. Retail, or at least the degen retail, is back in full force. That's why a lot have been doing very, very well. All right, guys. Let's do some Q&A. Oh, unfortunately, Bitcoin dipped back down a little bit. A little bit, okay? Little bit. But we're still above 66. We surpassed 67. We're not that far off from our all-time high. Max Kaiser said he believes we will hit 75,000 by Friday. That's only 2 more days. 3 more days. Well, we just started today. Will that happen? We'll see. All right, let's do some Q&A. Oh boy, my camera is now very, very dim. Hold on. Oh, super dim. Now that's too bright. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Greg, are you still going degen leverage? Yes. Yes, I am. I don't think I'm going to stop. Although I got really pissed off this morning. We had a sudden little crash this morning, right? And somehow on MEXC, I had my stop losses ignored. Like, everything got liquidated because somehow it was too fast, or MEXC, their system broke down or something. That got me really pissed off this morning. All right, let me scroll up here. Let me see if I missed anything. $11.7 Productions. Well, I thank you for that super chat, and I guess the community, but that is not one I will be supporting. Let's see here. Yeah, I may have to get off MEXC completely. I mean, that was not right. What are your support levels on Shiba? Well, Shiba is like basically all the memes right now. If you look at Pepe, Sheeb, Bonk, you notice they kind of like all have the same pattern right now. They're all following Bitcoin's pattern. So when Bitcoin starts doing very well, they all start pumping. A day ago or 2 days ago, they were skyrocketing. They decoupled from Bitcoin. They were skyrocketing, but not right now. Yesterday scared a lot of degens, right? So now they're just like kind of watching. But once Bitcoin starts breaking up, forms new highs, everything starts exploding once again. So the Stacks is BRC20. Do you think it's currently a better buy than Bitcoin? No. And that doesn't make sense. No, it's not. BRC is new standard. Stacks is his own language. It's his own like layer. It's not BRC. BRC20 is supported on it. But to answer your question, is Stacks better buy than Bitcoin? No. Can you alert people about scams BTC going around? Ryan, it's an impossible task. They come up every time. Just people have to get smarter about them. People have to know that no one's going to ask you to send them crypto and double it or whatever they're promising. If it's too good to be true, it is too good to be true. Myro got listed on crypto.com. Good for Myro. Uh, it's alt-apocalyptics lately, especially Bitcoin value. Yes, that's why you don't want to go too heavy into alt. You always want to have a good amount of Bitcoin to prevent that from happening, right? There will be times where Bitcoin's dominance is just so strong and everything else is not, and it hurts if you don't have enough Bitcoin. Popcats, Nautilus asks, cat meme. Do you think it'll go to first billion as the first? It go to billion as the first cat meme. I'm not a cat person, and that's not a significant thing to be the first cat meme to hit 1 billion. Like anyone tracks that, and who cares? Who cares? But it's doing well today. NMCD said, so many of your calls really did well during yesterday's dip. BitSensor, OP, Whiff, Beam, Cock barely dipped and kept going up. Well, I can't take all that credit. My team members did help come up with that list, but these are ones that I have talked about quite a lot. And, you know, they're very promising for a reason. PL says, will CRO and exchange coin increase parabolically, then go sideways before going parabolic? It seems to rise this way. Shouldn't it rise gradually? Well, what you described sounds artificial. So, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you just got a lot of big whales that's foaming into them. Thomas. What's up, man? I've been following you a long time. I think you have great vision. Thank you. Would you do a session for following your trades on meme coins? It's you wouldn't want to do it because I'm so erratic. And I'm very off the cuff. So it's like I see something and I just do it. So it's almost impossible for me to do like a live stream or some kind of session. You know, I may do something for my Patreon members. I do have a Patreon group, really loyal group. I may do something like a video kind of showing what I'm doing. It works when it works, like when things are hot. When things are not, it doesn't work that well. But again, it's hard to do in real time because I do close them out all the time. I reopen new ones all the time. So it's kind of hard to time. Let's see. Pepe says, thanks, G, for holding my hand and helping me. You're welcome. I can't make the conference. Can I still come Friday night? Yeah, Friday night. So you're referring to TWC conference. That is in Orlando coming up. Friday night is a network event, and then Saturday is a conference. So those of you guys that want to join, you're in Orlando, you're in Tampa, maybe Miami. If you want to drive down, check it out. Could be a good one. Do you know the math difference is in BTFX 2.5 leverage ETF and IBIT? In a bull market, why wouldn't you pile Valkyrie? What am I missing? Because when things go down, they go down 2.5x as well. So you could lose a lot of money really fast too. Nothing has no risk. And BTFX 2.5 leverage is futures based. FET volume, outdoing Tau 2 to 1, big stacks advantage. FET, I gotta say, Fetch has been absolutely killing it. Fetch is one that I saw early, but I didn't really like pounce on it. I thought, okay, it's an L1 in AI. I didn't see the bigger picture in terms of how much it could go up because of the AI boom. Man, they have gone up so much. But there's still, the good thing is Fetch is still very low. They're like 1 point something billion, which is still very low, very early. Whale Smoke says Node AI GPU pumping hard. Let's see. That's a good symbol. It is pumping hard. 120. Did they just copy NVIDIA's logo? 124 million, very small cap. Yes, I'm human. Powering the demand for next gen AI. Okay, so of course they're partnered up. Are they really partnered up, or do they just have their GPUs? They only have 57 GPUs. That's not very impressive, and not worth $124 million. I mean, I could go buy 57 GPUs right now, and I could have more nodes than Node AI. That makes no sense at all. That shows you how inflated this project is, to be honest. It's such a mugshot gangster picture pose. Gary says I have 200 GPUs running right now. So you already have way more than what Node AI has. I remember when I was running and I was mining Litecoin, I had like 130 GPUs. That's about the limit of what I could fit in my basement due to heat and power requirements. I couldn't go anymore. You said you'd be interested in NVIDIA and Microsoft, maybe add them to your DCA portfolio. No, there's no need for that. It's a pure crypto portfolio. You could add it to your own personal portfolio. There's nothing wrong with that. What are your thoughts on AI tokens? Is there any particular you are buying? Well, I just covered Fetch. I think the two that stand out is Fetch and Singularity. But Fetch has been doing more, and I do like them more because they're more of a L1 that's focused on bringing dApps. Singularity, however, is the biggest on Cardano. Any advice on Doge and Sheep? Well, if you've been holding them, you should probably continue to hold them. They're coming up. There's a lot of momentum once again. So, Haitian Lola. Thank you. Eric McDonald. Thank you. Let's see. Crypto insurance projects? No. There's no way that you could be certain that those crypto projects, insurance projects, will be able to handle any kind of claims. You just don't know, especially if there's a big hack or something that happens. There's no way you can tell that they'll be able to cover what they're supposed to. So I just don't trust them. They're not regulated. So no. Popo has a Solana validator and building a smartwatch. Okay. Where can I buy some cock? On Trader Joe. And some sexes. It's on some sexes already. Can Verasity get a 3 billion market cap this cycle? I mean, there's a chance. But will it? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not bullish on Verasity. I don't know enough about Jasmine to talk about it. Sheep with hat. I'd rather buy George with hat than Sheep with hat. I don't like memes. that try to steal the names or uses the names of an existing meme to like try to jump on a bandwagon. So, no. Rizal. If Bitcoin hits 10x by the end of 2025, would you say other cryptos hit the same? Yes. If Bitcoin hits 10x by end of 2025, all other crypto will be way higher than 10x. It'll be like 20x for most crypto, if not more. Dog with cock in you is next. That's actually pretty good. Tyler says BlackRock is public enemy number one. Well, I'm just giving a stern warning that, when a dip happens, you look at who benefits the most. And right now, I would argue BlackRock benefits the most. They're coming in. They want to accumulate as much as they can. They accumulated nearly 800 million yesterday. $800 million worth of Bitcoin. Close to $1 billion themselves. So you could argue they probably benefited most yesterday from that drop. So I don't think that's going to stop, guys. Even though we love seeing the ETFs buy and buy and buy more Bitcoin and cause the market to go up. I mean, literally, we're seeing kind of like these guys take over right in front of our eyes. You may think, well, this is nothing. Who cares if they accumulated 183,000 Bitcoin? That's a significant amount. Pretty soon they're going to hold 1% of Bitcoin, 1.5% Bitcoin, 2% Bitcoin, 3% of total in existence. It's not going to stop. This may be the last time to accumulate a significant amount of Bitcoin before it gets too expensive. How do you get around Marge X's US residential VPN? I don't know. A lot of foreign exchanges, yeah, you could get around it with a VPN. Alan, what do you think about VeChain? I've been supporting this since 2017. So I don't agree with all their moves. Like they're doing a hard push into sustainability and so forth. That's just something retail investors do not care about. Retail investors care about how to make money. And how do you make something go up? Well, you need people to stake. You need people to earn. You need people to play the games. You need dApps. You need a lot of stuff that people could use, right? And VeChain has been behind the ball on that. They've been more B2B focused. I wish they'd do more B2C focus. Ryan says, love you, love the show, got a job again. Congrats. That's important. If you don't have a job, you're not able to sustain yourself, that's no good. That means you can't invest, you can't HODL, you can't DCA. Having that source of income is important. Sorry, I was too far away from the microphone. When is altcoin season starting? You could argue based on this that we already started. But the parabolic phase is not going to start until 2025. 2025 is when it starts going nuts, especially the latter half. As we close in at all-time high, that's when things get really, really crazy every single cycle. But you could argue we have already started. A lot of things started moving up. There are a lot of alts that's close to their previous highs and about to break them. Too bad the last few times Wall Street opened and then Bitcoin started selling off. We need to see where Wall Street opens and Bitcoin starts pumping. There's so much buying that they are like, there's like weird games going on right now. It's like BlackRock wants the market to go down, or at least not break through all-time highs so they can accumulate more and more and more and more. There's like something like that going on right now. It's like I thought the numbers were going to be like really negative yesterday. I'm like, something happened yesterday, right? There must have been a lot of selling, but no, to my surprise, BlackRock bought the most they've ever bought since the ETF started, 788 million, and overall it's a net inflow plus. So what's happening? It looks like is they're buying OTC somehow, and then people are dumping on the open market. So there's some kind of like weird manipulation going on right now. Let's see. U.S. market is up today. Yes. Tehran says, someone a while ago said Bitcoin is electricity, Ether is the computer. Can't live without Bitcoin, but still needs something pushing society forward. Sure, except I would say Ether is like a typewriter, and others are more like a computer now, because Ether is a little bit dated. Do you know what the lag time is between an ETF purchase and a spot transaction? I wonder if ETFs are bought at night. It could be that they purchase all at night or something like that. I don't know. I don't think it's an instantaneous purchase. And what do you think about LCX? I don't really have any thoughts on LCX. Captain Cisco, why do you always say I'm George, we're all George? Because that's just my motto and people like it. XRP March to April pump, slingshot. I hope for XRP Army, for your sake, that is true. Because I don't know how you guys could be holding for 6 years and not have it, go higher. that is very, very demotivational. Why do you think Max Kaiser says 75K by Friday? I have no idea. Maybe he just picking some random number, or number sounds good. Maybe he did some TA, technical analysis. But all I know is this. Once we break all-time high again, I don't think we're going to get that 15% drop suddenly. We head into unknown territory. We are going to see some massive pumps. We're going to see some massive, massive pumps, and we could get to 75,000 in no time. What's your favorite 100x projects from current levels? I don't know. I've invested in a couple of projects that are relatively small, so they may have a 100x chance. A lot of the other ones have been, holding and DCAing. I don't think they have a 100x. I think they more have like a 10 to 20x. 100x is hard. It's usually reserved only for memes. Why is Grayscale selling hard? When will it stop? I don't know. There's some early investors, and then Genesis, and I don't know who else. Barry Silbert, maybe he has a ton he's selling off. It makes no sense that they have so much to sell off. And some of it could also be because people are sick of the fees, so they're selling off Grayscale to buy iBit. You know, there's a possibility of that too. But at some point, you got to figure it's going to be net positive, not net negative every single day for Grayscale, right? At some point, with so much FOMO, we're going to see net positive. Just not sure why. We're just seeing nonstop selling from Grayscale still. I mean, Genesis should be done selling. Anyways. Mark, adding DFK Jewel to DCA portfolio tonight. That's a very specific thing to ask. Maybe, maybe not. Are you adding Jewel to your DCA portfolio? XRP losing sentiment like Ashton Kutcher's career. He's like a billionaire investor. He doesn't need a career. He's doing just fine. What's your thoughts on Spell Token? Not a fan of it. Not a fan of it. Sold most of my XRP. Was doing better last bull run. I hate to say it. I mean, you know what? Here's the thing. If XRP wins their if Ripple wins their lawsuit, their final lawsuit against the SEC, that could definitely be the turning point, right? But I thought it was the turning point already when, you know, they won a couple lawsuits, but I guess not. And plus, Ripple already stated their intentions is to do IPO, sell stock. A lot of investors may be waiting for that moment. Moon Tropica. What is this? It's like a travel agency or something. It's a game. Okay. Okay. I'll just say okay. I don't know what else to say about that. Should I buy Bitcoin on Cash App? I mean, it's not bad. Cash App is primarily Bitcoin focused from Jack Dorsey. I guess it's okay. I never really think about Cash App. I always just think about everyone's buying on Coinbase or Robinhood, right? Mostly Coinbase. But yeah, Cash App is an alternative. If Ripple goes public, how does that help XRP? Well, maybe they will sell less. They'll sell less because they'll be able to use their stocks as as cash flow. Right now, they need to sell XRP as cash flow, so that could help. But that also can make it not help because a lot of big investors, rather than buy XRP, they'll just buy the stock instead. All right, guys. So to conclude, you know what? Bitcoin's looking a lot better today than yesterday, which is great. But the warning is this: BlackRock, they're not stopping. A day like yesterday, guess who loaded up the most? They did. $788 million worth of Bitcoin bought by BlackRock alone yesterday. They are closing in on MicroStrategy. They will surpass them probably after today. And they are becoming an absolute beast and taking over the space. Not something that I want to see. So make sure you don't fall for the FUD. Make sure you're not selling your Bitcoin and having them go to one of these big boys. They don't need more Bitcoin from you. So stay strong, my friends. Chris says, I listen to you more than my wife. I don't know if that's a good thing. Thank you for that. So, smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it's DCA night. It's going to be exciting to check out DCA Portfolio and to see what I'll be adding tonight. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Smokey says, my dad put $25K in Beam yesterday. Do you think it's a minimum purchase price? Beam, 10x, possibly.